Nasty boy.
And what it do, Dirty Birdie?
Boy, I want to throw my damn computer out the window, bro.
I feel you, man.
I've never been this frustrated with a piece of electronic in my life.
It is all good. We will figure it out. The world was not ready. That's all.
Yeah, I guess not. Well, if you don't know, we were gonna do our first YouTube video today, but we have literally been sitting here trying to get this shit to work for about an hour, and it was not letting us. It kept giving us an error code, and it was messing up on my computer side. So we are not doing our first YouTube video today. We are just gonna keep it simple and stay with our normal audio. But in the future, we will be getting into the videos, into the YouTube, into the TikToks, the Instagram videos, the whole nine. But let's jump right into it, man. I know we're kind of a little crunched on time today, so we won't spend too long, but you can't take a week off when you're trying to pump out content. So this is what we got to do. Nasty, what'd you think about 288, man?
Man, I haven't been so disappointed since I tried making my video work for this. I'm telling you right now, man. That whole entire card, I couldn't have been more off in my life.
Yeah,
And
I
for
was
everyone,
I was pretty off too.
and I'm sad, dude. I'm super sad. I hope this isn't the last I'll ever see of my boy Gilbert Burns run. But when shit like that happens, dude, you are the most unlucky motherfucker in the planet.
Yeah, I don't
And
think it's the last time we'll see him.
I just thought this title run was going to be, this was it. Now he's going to have to work twice as, even more hard than he has. Like three fights in
that is true.
This is going to be a tough thing for him to do, but I hope he bounces back.
Yeah, because by him losing that fight, essentially, it pushed him back.
God.
Probably. I mean, now he's going to be pushed back. Bilal's going to get moved up into potentially the contender spot. Colby's going to he's going to have to fight Leon Edwards. Usman could end up fighting. I don't know, man. We might see a Usman Burns rematch if Burns gets healthy enough, but Kamaru is there's so many people coming up, though. It's going to be hard for Burns to bounce back, to be honest.
I don't want to say it, and I'm just not going to say it, but I hope this wasn't it for him.
Yeah, I really don't either. I hate the fact that we get to see Dud Bilal get a chance at moving up and fighting. He's going to be such a boring champ if he ends up beating Leon, which I just do not see happening. Leon is world level class above him in a bunch of aspects, so I don't see that happening. But the fact that guy's even in the talks to be a champ is just ugh. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's not a bad fighter, or he wouldn't be there. But I'm just not a big fan of his fighting style. If you can't beat a Gilbert Burns with one arm, like what good are you? How are you going to beat Colby Covington, who's going to consistently pressure you wrestling, and then how are you going to beat a Leon whose striking is this far superior than yours?
Yeah, he's not going to. The Leon fights, I mean, dude, I hope he doesn't get it.
And then how are you going to beat a Kamaru Usman whose wrestling and striking is leagues above yours? Colby got beat twice by Leon Edwards.
Exactly. And Colby Covington is going to knock out Bilal too. Like everyone's going to be like, oh, Colby's fire, because he just knocked the fuck out of Bilal if they do it. So.
Yeah, that's God. I hate the welterweight division is kind of stale right now. I mean, with Shavkat coming up, he's a pretty interesting fighter to keep an eye out on. You still got Wonder Boy in the mix. You still got Jack Della in the mix. And then you now have, Ian Gary coming up, facing D-Rod soon, which could potentially put him in the top 15. That's going to be another one to keep an eye out on. So there's a couple up-and-comings that are going to keep this division kind of looking good for a little bit. But as of right now, it's not that great. Until we see, the next fight, like the Leon Colby is going to be okay. I mean, we'll just have to see how that goes. But even then, we don't know what Colby's going to look like, He's been out for about a year, a little over a year?
Oh, yeah. We'll see, man. I'm not, it sounds weird, but I am excited to watch Colby fight. So I'm not a fan or anything like that, but I want to see what he looks like. I mean, his last fight, nobody I didn't even think he looked good, and he barely beat a fucking old up, washed up, concussed Jorge Masvidal.
Yeah, I
Like
agree.
who the fuck cares?
I have this thought. I have this thought this morning, and I'm gonna stick to it. I'm just gonna say it. I think the UFC should have like a rule set, like a almost like you have to meet this qualification for two different things. One, if you're a champion, you have to defend your belt within a 12-month cycle. No matter
Yeah,
what. No matter what. There's if you can't fight within 12 months, you are stripped of your belt. Like a champ should continue fighting for the champ every single once the 12-month cycle, if not more. And that's to keep the division fresh, keep things going, because nobody should stay a champ without fighting for longer than a year, in my opinion. And that same should go for a contender. No contender fighting for the belt should, if they've been out longer than 12 months, should be able to fight for a title.
that's a fucking great rule, and that has a lot to do with last week.
Yeah,
And
exactly. And then I mean that obviously that would take away John Jones being able to, but a lot of people didn't think that he deserved to go right into a title shot. But it's John Jones, I get it. But I think that should be a rule. 12-month cycle. You don't get to fight for a title if you've been out longer than 12 months or if you haven't defended your title in 12 months. I think that should be a rule.
I agree, man. I'm gonna go a little off topic just for a quick second. Go on the MMA news topic right here. I 100% agree with you, dude. And nobody. John Jones does get the exception because, dog, it's fucking John Jones.
I get it.
You know,
Yeah.
I get it all day, but with certain people, I don't. And then, the Cejudo thing, dude. I don't think it. And I watched a little bit of the Dominic Cruz interview the other day or yesterday about it, and he said it was a complete bitch move for you to be for you to be out of the UFC for 3 years and just get a title fight like
No,
that.
I completely agree, because look at it now. He came in and he kind of showed somewhat of a good skill level. I mean, he is Henry Cejudo, so he has won belts in the past. He was a double champ. He's all this stuff. He has accolades, and now he's the number 3 ranked bantamweight. He jumped Corey Sandhagen. He jumped Piotr Jan. He jumped Marlon Vera. He jumped Rod Font, Son He jumped all these guys who had to move down a spot, who have been active for him to move into the number 3 contender spot. That to me is bullshit.
I agree, dude. It's fucking stupid. He just shook the game up for no reason, and
Because I personally think Corey Sandhagen would kick him in the fucking face.
Corey Sandhagen would probably give him those fucking hands, Joel. I believe that, dude. I believe a lot of people would, man. I believe and it's crazy, if it's a weird pair up, and I thought about it last time. Like, man, what would happen if Sean O'Malley kept his distance with Cejudo? And he's longer, dude. He probably could. I mean, that's one of the best wrestlers ever, dude. But
Yeah,
still,
100%.
he's older. I see his chin's been I mean, he looked good. I'm not gonna lie, he did look good. But I see O'Malley knock him the fuck out, dude.
Yeah, if O'Malley can just keep his distance with any of these guys, honestly, in the division, I mean, the only person that's going to give O'Malley his toughest run is going to be Aljamain Sterling, simply the fact because Aljamain's a weight bully and he's already too big for the bantamweight division.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason O'Malley's going to have trouble with Aljamain, because he's not going to be able to keep that distance because Aljamain's still a little bit bigger and he still has that reach. But I think Corey Sandhagen could give Sean O'Malley a run for his money, because Sandhagen has just as good, if not better, reach.
I think that's the best. That'd be the best fight in this division, to be honest, man. And the whole entire I cannot say his name, Merab Davashvili.
Davashvili.
I just don't understand. I get it. He's been kicking ass in the UFC, but dog, you ain't done that much, homeboy.
No, he hasn't. I mean, and he's gonna get a shot, and I hate it. I would hate it if Dana White gave him Henry Cejudo. Fuck that. I don't want that. Put Merab up against,
That fight would suck.
Yeah, it would be terrible. Or even Umar Nurmagomedov against Merab. Song Yadong. I mean, I get it. Merab put pressure on Piotr Jan, but Piotr Jan, we got to take Piotr Jan with a grain of salt at the moment, because he was on a very much a couple fight loss streak. So we're going to have to take that one with a kind of a grain of salt and say that, Merab just pressured him because he was coached by Aljamain, who's beat who beat Piotr Jan twice. So he kind of had the upper advantage of knowing everything about him. So I would like to see Marab face someone other than Piotr Jan and put that same performance on, you know?
Oh yeah.
That's
Oh
my
yeah.
opinion on that. But yeah, I agree with you. Henry Cejudo, that'd be my rule if I was the commission. 12 months, a 12-month rule. You can't fight for a title. You have to defend your title within 12 months, or it's vanquished, or you can't fight for it. Because to me, it's not fair. Aljamain should have fought someone like Marab, even though it's his training partner. That's bullshit. You can say that you just don't want to fight someone because they're your friend. Like me and you, if we were fighting for the title, we would fight each other. Fuck it.
We would. They would make a movie about it. I would cry at the end. I would.
And afterwards, we'd fucking hug each other and be like, "I'll meet you at the fucking sidelines and we'll have a beer."
Trash can. We're gonna have a trash can. That's my favorite drink.
You know what I'm
over there.
saying? But we'd beat each other's asses just to see who is the best one.
Yeah, I mean that was an every Friday thing for us. So,
We waited our whole life for this moment, you know?
Yeah, dude. You owe it to the fans for that. Don't be a bitch.
Yeah, I hate that, dude. It's so stupid. And how could you not, dude? You know everything about each other. You train against each other, so it would be the perfect fight. Unless
Dude,
you were such a bitch that you went in there and just like pickled around with each other and touched dicks, you know?
Goku versus Vegeta, Naruto versus Sasuke, bro. We got to touch tips at least one time.
Exactly. But anyways, I don't want to harp on these people too much, but I will say this. I'm very excited that Jan beat Jessica Andrade, even though I did have Andrade winning, because now that's going to set up a potential mega fight in that division against Zhang Wei Li. And if they do that fight in China, that could potentially break women records by far.
Yeah, Joel, tell me about this because what you said to me yesterday blew my fucking mind. Dirty Bird is coming up with the hottest take, dude. He's predicting the future right now of what just got set up. It just went by my head until he told me it.
So I wouldn't say that I created it because I definitely saw it and other people had said it as well. But Zhang Wei Li is currently the champ, you know, in that division. But being that Jan just beat Andrade and that's a top 5. Jan's already she's the number 3 contender right now, right behind Carla Esparza and Rose. Carla Esparza, I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe she's pregnant, so I don't think she's fighting anytime soon. And Rose Namajunas, she's been non-existent. So unless we have another bullshit where Rose just comes right in, but Rose has not been impressive in her last few fights either. So give us Jan, give us Zhang Wei Li, give us our first 2 China champ versus contender in China. Will potentially break pay-per-view records for China, because if you think about it, China's the biggest in population, and they're gonna fucking see 2 of their biggest women fight. I think it'll blow the water out of some of the women fighters we've ever seen, even Ronda Rousey's, all of them, to be honest.
It's gonna break the internet, man. It's gonna be sick.
And then,
I mean, good talent. There's some good talent in the UFC right now with Chinese fighters, man. I missed it. You saw a lot back in the day. Then there wasn't like, you know, a really good top 10 fighter in a while like that. You know, I guess it'd be Machida.
I mean, kind of having 2 Chinese ladies fighting, like that's pretty impressive.
Huge for the sport, man. It's gonna be sick.
Look, I've come to learn in the past few years that these women now are no fucking joke. There's some women out there that are just as fun to watch as the men. Back in the day, you kind of had to take a few of them, pick them out, and put them into a pot, and then you'd be like, okay, maybe we'll get a good fight out of them. You know, your Cyborgs, your Holly Holmes, your Ronda Rouseys, your Misha Tates. Back in the day, even though some of them are still kind of fighting, Gina Carino.
Oh, I want to fuck her.
But nowadays, you have like 5 or 6 in the same division, in all the divisions, that you're like, okay, these women could easily beat each other, you know?
Yeah, man. Like the whole entire Shevchenko thing that just went to an abrupt stop. But the only person we aren't really seeing that is with Amanda Nunes. Like,
yeah, well, there's nobody that's really who's been as dominant in a certain thing than her and John Jones.
Yeah, so I don't see anyone fucking with that bitch right now, to be honest.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. The fight where she fought against damn, I just forgot her name. The fight where she fought against fucking
Oh,
Juliana
sure.
Pena. Juliana Pena. They were about to set up that third fight, but Juliana Pena pulled out. I just had a brain fart. But that where she lost against her, which was bullshit. We all know it was bullshit. And she came back and completely dominated her the second fight. So, but yeah, she's just as dominant in the women's division as John Jones has been in the men's division. So there's no
She gives
there's not many quite like her.
No, dude, she gives me that vibe from that bitch that was so hard in all the Fast and Furious movies. Like
Oh
even the
yeah,
one.
yeah.
What was her name again?
You talking about Vin Diesel's girl?
Yeah, her dog. Oh, if you're listening, what's up, girl?
Oh my god.
But yeah, the Amanda Nunes is just like that, dude. That's just a
Yeah,
bad bitch to
she
fuck
is.
with.
She's one you just don't want to fuck with. You're right. But anyway, so we want these last two, Evolov, Diego Sanchez. I think Diego Sanchez kind of shocked a lot of people about how impressive he looked out there. He actually looked really good on the ground. And as far as submission attempts, he had Evolov in some wild shit. I think he had him in a leg lock at one time, a choke at one time, an arm bar at one time. He was just pulling out everything to try to finish that fight. But obviously it didn't work out for him. But I think he kind of made a name for himself.
That was fun to watch, man. That was actually one of my, that was sick to watch. I enjoyed that one. I like the crazy attempts, man. You got stuff in your arsenal. Keep them coming.
Well, if that wasn't the best one on the fight card, how about this one? Kron Gracie versus Charles Jourdain. Couldn't get a more fucking. It looked like we were watching a homeless guy versus a fucking prisoner.
Dog, dead ass. Kron Gracie, I know you got that bread. What's up with this? What's up with this look?
Dude, he came out and we were sitting in here. Me and the guy Murky were sitting here and we were like, dude, he looks like he's homeless, bro. Like this guy needs to cut his fucking hair, put something in it, wet it or something. Like my God, dude, you come out for a UFC fight and you look like a bum. And then Charles Jourdain at least put on a somewhat decent showing with his control and everything like that. But no takedowns for Kron Gracie, no submission attempts for what you would call one of the greatest, submission Brazilian jiu-jitsu names in the history of the sport. Not even a single one because you couldn't even get back control. You wanted to lay on the ground and pull guard like a fucking weirdo. But like, dude, jiu-jitsu is awesome to have in your arsenal, but don't go into a UFC fight and try to pull guard. Like, dude, this is not how this works. And I'm surprised Charles Jourdain didn't bust his face in because I sure the hell would have.
Dude, it didn't even work it stopped working on UFC 4. We're at UFC 288 right now.
Exactly.
You go on your back like you're ready to get penetrated, dude. Fuck that. I hate that, dude.
Yeah.
I hate that.
So stupid.
I wish Jourdain just came with a flying Superman downward punch right to his fucking cap. That would have been sick.
But Matt Frivola, too, prelims looked great. Knocked out Drew Dober. Finally, Drew Dober's jaw got tested. No more Giga Chad. He got that shit beat up. Crazy little timeline for that one. So Terrence McKinney is kind of involved in this. So Matt Frivola gets knocked out by Terrence McKinney. Drew Dober knocks out Terrence McKinney. And then Matt Frivola knocks out Drew Dober. Like, what an MMA timeline to have right there, right?
Straight up orgy.
That's a weird timeline. And then a couple other good fights on the card. I don't want to go too in depth with it, but the Rolando Bedoya and Chaos Williams fight, that one was one of the best fights on the card for sure. Just those guys were just banging. Shout out to Parker Porter for getting that knockout. Braxton Smith looked like he couldn't even breathe. He needed a sleep app machine 10 seconds into the fight. So, but that guy needs to get cut.
Oh yeah, we'll call that cut happening very soon.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. So, but anyways, do you got anything to add to 288? I don't want to stay on it too long. I know we're in kind of a time crunch.
Yeah.
So want to.
Yeah, man. One more thing. There's another guy on the prowl, dude. They're breeding these fighters. Ikram Aliskerov.
Oh yeah,
dude. I read this stat the other day, man, and it was that if you have what was it like how they say an Arabic name, but you go to Russia and you live in Russia, that you have like a 96% chance of winning the fight. And
really?
It showed me all the fighters, dude. It showed me all the fighters, all 8 of them. They have like a combined 4 losses.
Do you know who his only losses though?
Ikram's?
Yeah.
I do not, man.
So his only loss in his professional career is to Hamzat Chimaev.
Shut the fuck up.
Yep, he lost to Hamzat back in what was that fight? Is it Brave? Yeah, Brave CF was his only loss. He got knocked out by Hamzat.
Oh, that's sick.
And so this was before the UFC. So now you know.
Well, dude, I mean, there's room in that division for a new name for the middleweights, dude. Like, there's some open spots. Like, that's for damn sure.
I think he's
So
definitely going to get a good fight next, to be honest. He made a good showing to get a good
he
fight.
did
So
good. Like everybody who's watching those guys now, and it's sad to say, like I'm watching those guys. They're all fucking. What they're doing works, and I see, dude. I can see him moving the fuck up, dude.
yeah,
Let Sean Strickland welcome him to the top 10 real quick.
Oh God, I don't want to see Sean Strickland lose like that. That's my boy.
I don't think he would lose.
But anyways, so 288 was kind of a dud. I know there was just a lot of things, Gilbert Burns hurt shoulder. Bilal Muhammad comes out, says I had a hurt ankle. No shit. We saw the pictures. Nothing was being hidden there, but overall it was kind of a dud card, but a lot could come out of it. And I hope some good fights are made out of it. I hope we see Sean O'Malley Sterling, and I hope we see Leon Edwards beat the piss out of Bilal Muhammad after he beats the piss out of Colby Covington. So
piss.
But next, this coming week, man, we got UFC Fight Night, 2 big heavyweights going at it. We got Jelton Almeida and Rosenstruck. I think there's a couple of good fights on this card, to be honest. A lot of good contender fights. To go into the prelims, we don't have anything too wild, But on the main card, we have Alex Morano, Tim Means. That should start out. That should start the fight night out pretty well. 2 guys who will bang. Stand and bang, so we could potentially see a knockout in that fight. Ihor Pretoria and Ulberg, is another one. Same thing. 2 guys that are going to stand and bang. You got Ulberg, who averages like 9 significant strikes per minute, so he's just throwing hands. And then you really get into the fights that are the good ones. You got Ian Gary making his next fight versus Daniel Rodriguez, his first top 15 fight. So this right here is going to set the tone for Ian Gary. How good is he? He's getting his first contender fight. Can he come in and show the world that he's the next Conor McGregor? Or is Daniel Rodriguez going to show him that there's power to these hands? And welcome to the top 15.
It's a fucking second round knockout, Ian Gary, all fucking day.
I agree. I think Ian Gary handles business. D-Rod's a good fighter. I just think he's a little bit past his welcome in the UFC. He's been fighting for a little bit, and he's getting there in age. He's 36. Ian Gary's 25. So there's cardio levels that are going to play a big factor. They both like to stand and strike. The only difference is Ian Gary's accuracy and pinpoint striking is this going to be levels above what D-Rod is fought recently. And if Daniel Rodriguez can't catch him, then Ian Gary's just going to piece him up and just do continuous work. And you see it in the odds. It's a -300 favorite for Ian Gary. But don't doubt D-Rod's power. I mean, D-Rod can definitely throw hands, and he has fought contenders. He wouldn't be a top 15 fighter if he wasn't. But I just personally think that Ian Gary is something new, He's something fresh. And Daniel Rodriguez coming off a loss against Neil Magny, couldn't be more of a worse loss to have on your record, to be honest.
I couldn't have said it better, Joel. Last thing on Ian Gary, man, we saw him get tested a little bit, and then I just saw some of the cleanest, most accurate combinations I've seen in a minute. And we covered this fight. It was one of our first things we did on Over the Octagon. Shout out. That was fucking awesome to do with you. And seeing him, those combinations he was landing, dude, that's scary. And if you're behind the right training, dude, this guy, I want to see him do good. I really do, man.
I think he will. I think his accuracy, his speed, his just ability to maneuver around a fight, as long as he doesn't get caught. But we've seen his chin get tested, and he was able to recover, and he was able to continue putting the pressure on. So I think D-Rod's just going to be a little outclassed in this fight, even though Ian Gary hasn't had too much big fights. This will be his big first test. I think he does pretty good work. Second round knockout, in my opinion.
And he's fucking long. Let's not forget that. This dude's long and tall, dude.
Yeah, he actually outreaches Daniel Rodriguez by half an inch. So,
wow.
And then next, the co-main event, Anthony Smith finally getting his fight against Johnny Walker. This fight is fairly even in my opinion, because what we saw from Johnny Walker recently against Paul Craig was what a lot of people didn't think was going to happen. Paul Craig, being the jiu-jitsu fighter that he is, the striker that he is, the ability to just make shit happen. Johnny Walker catching that leg, knocking him out was very impressive in the first round. And then we have Anthony Smith coming off of a loss against Ankalaev, but still has that ability. His fight knowledge is there, but he hasn't fought in almost a year. What are we going to see out of Anthony Smith that we haven't seen recently with Johnny Walker? Like, these two guys are going to either A, stand and bang, or Anthony Smith is going to try to do the same thing Paul Craig did, and can Johnny Walker catch him?
Yeah, this is weird, man. This is a weird fight for me. Anthony Smith, he's fucking battle tested, dude. This dude has fought everyone, dude.
I know.
I'm talking everyone. I remember he even fought John Jones for the title, I think, at one point, dude. He
a long time ago.
Yeah, so I don't know what we're gonna see with him. I know he is older, dude, and he is on a downward spiral of his career, kind of. But like the dude is still in shape, in incredible shape, dude. He's still an active light heavyweight, dude. The dude he can get you in the first round all the time. So I don't know what we're gonna watch. This one's scared for me to bet on, but if Johnny Walker does what Johnny Walker does and just fucking runs into him full speed and somehow knocks him on the ground and just fucking barrels him, then that's what's gonna happen.
I think the biggest advantage for Johnny Walker is just this reach advantage, man. I mean, he has a 6-inch reach advantage. 6 inches. That's unbelievable. If Johnny Walker can figure out a way to keep his distance with Anthony Smith, he could catch Anthony Smith. Because one, we haven't seen Anthony Smith fight in almost a year. He's been fighting for 15 years. So how good mentally is his body? Physically is his body? He's fought at how many different he's fought, like you said, a bunch of different people. So how good is his chin going to hold up? We know Johnny Walker can get knocked out, but Johnny Walker coming off of that big win, he's going to be very hyped up, He's going to want to keep fighting, and it's not like he's far behind in the rankings either. I mean, he's sitting in the top 10 nicely. If he gets a win over Anthony Smith, top 5, he might get a Jan Blachowicz or a Magomed Ankalaev. You just don't know,
Yeah, Johnny Walker, he's making a name for himself. So if he does this, he's definitely gonna crack back into that top 5.
I agree. And then the heavyweight main event, Rosenstruck, Almeida. We need some noise in the heavyweight division, because we got the top 5. But after that, it kind of just like there's a lot of people who are just kind of even when it comes to their fight skill. So we're just kind of see how that plays out. I think we got Almeida, who's been fighting at he's started fighting at like a very low division, right? Like welterweight or something.
Yeah, I don't remember, man.
Like I'm pretty sure he fought at when he first started fighting, he had fought like a low weight, and he slowly put on weight, and now he's fighting heavyweight. So. And he's fighting a guy like Rosenstruck, who has hella power in between his punches, but I don't really know how I see this one playing out, because one, I'm not too familiar with Rosenstruck's like complete record. I know he's fought, he beat Chris Dawkins, but he's lost to a couple other big name guys, so his name kind of got dusted under the rug. Losing to Cyril Gahn, losing to Curtis Blades, losing to Volkov. So he's lost to some good guys, which just tells me, he's not quite ready for the belt, because if you can't beat at least one of those big guys, how are you going to ever be a champ? But Almeida, again, who hasn't fought the best people. So it could go 50-50. I think everybody's leaning towards Almeida just because of his takedowns. His wrestling is elite. So if he's able to just get it to the ground, he's more than likely going to win. But it's crazy to me that the betting line is set at -500 Almeida.
Yeah, well, I mean, dude, Almeida's he's on a fucking tear right now. And
he is, but
Rosenstruck is not. And I know Rosenstruck was hyped up at one point, but dude, he's just not been living up to what he could be. I mean, dude, he's a fucking beast. That is a big motherfucker,
It's
dude.
big as shit,
You
dude. 30
could
pounds
do
heavier.
you could do so much, and you're not doing it right, and you're going against a quick fucking dude like Almeida for that division. He might be the quickest. So like, this is gonna be sick. But I wouldn't be shocked to see Almeida get knocked out. That's a
I
big fucking advantage, bro.
It is. I mean, he's got a big. He's way bigger. I mean, Almeida, like you said, it's he's faster. He's gonna want to take it to the ground. He's gonna want to try to submit him, which could very much happen. But why do we have a main event where the betting odds are damn near minus 500 plus 375? That's to me is ridiculous. It should not be a main event. If anything, it should be the third fight on the card, and Anthony Smith, Johnny Walker should headline. Ian Gary, Daniel Rodriguez should be the co-main, and then Rosenstruck Almeida should be the third fight on the card.
I mean, I was just about to say that.
So that to me is bullshit. I don't think they should headline this, especially at those odds. If you think he's going to win that big, that heavy of odds, then why is he the heavy? Why is this a main event? Like, fucking nobody wants to stay up and wait for this fight to come if it's that much of an advantage for one fighter, you know? So
Yeah.
that being said, fuck it. I don't know. I'll have to see. I could see Rosenstruck knocking him out, but I could also see Almeida submitting him. So that's it for UFC Fight Night. This one is an early card too, so this one starts at 3 p.m. Thank God we get an early fight night again. So we'll be in the Discord live showing these fights, talking about them. So y'all come stop by and watch them with us. Nasty, what kind of MMA news you got for us, brother, before we start to wrap up?
Oh man, well, we got a lot, dude. Some is MMA related, some is ex MMA related. First off, I want to talk about this because he's one of my favorite people to talk about in the UFC, and that's Nate Diaz, man.
Oh yeah.
Press he had with Jake Paul yesterday, dog. He mentioned something about the UFC, which kind of blows my mind. He said he hopes for a UFC title fight after the Jake Paul boxing match.
I heard that.
Dog, how high were you to say that?
He was high.
I mean, god damn, dude. Don't get me wrong. I want him back in the UFC. I think he is hinting at that he would be. I mean, like we said in the past, a Conor McGregor, Nate Diaz fight would be awesome to watch again.
Absolutely.
And he said that, dude. That was just funny to watch, man.
Can I add one thing to that real quick? I also saw an interview with him, and they were talking about like, so the Texas rule book and everything states, or the whatever they call that, states that they do test for stuff before the fights and everything like that. He was like, well, I ain't got no steroids in my system. I'm clean. He was like, no, they also test for marijuana. It's like 100% illegal. He was like, what? I got weed flowing all in my system. And he was like, and he just looked shocked. And it was funny to hell. It was funny as hell to see him say what? He was like, what?
Dude, he's aged a lot too, man.
He has, dude.
Oh man, like over the past couple of years, you can see. Like I was watching it, I was like, damn.
He's gonna piece up Jake Paul though.
I'm dude. They have like a nerve in my back being pinched right now thinking about that, man. I just don't want to see what happens, man. I don't want to see Nate Diaz getting knocked out.
Did you see that reporter say he wanted to fight Nick?
Yes, dude. I saw that.
And then Nate was like, "Are you fucking stupid? You know I can have my homeboy whip your ass."
Yeah, well, you saw what Jake Paul said right after that.
Oh, he's
right?
like, "I'm gonna fire him. Don't worry, Nate. I'm sorry that happened."
So it was a fake media fucking thing that uses to promote fake news. Pretty much what Jake Paul made it to doing. Like, he works for my media team. It was called like live media or whatever. So it's fake media about somebody calling somebody out. He was asked to He was told to ask that.
Yeah, that's
Dude,
so stupid.
I hate the world we're in with these fucking internet fuckheads, dude.
I agree.
God, dude, like fuck no. You're not a boxer, dude. You take boxing lessons. You're not a fuck dog. Get the fuck out of here with that pussy ass shit. I'm so sick of it. Oh, I'm also a boxer. No, dude, you take classes twice a week at your local gym and you get pieced up by the girls in there. Fuck you, eat a dick.
That's funny. What else you got?
I'm sensitive, man. In other news, we talked a little about the bare knuckle fighting in the past, man. I got to see one of my favorite old fighters, dude, come out here and deliver a first round KO.
You're talking
dude.
about me.
You,
Me.
big country,
Big
big,
country.
big country.
Big country, baby.
Dog, that was cool, man. Just watching him do what he does is, I mean, it was good to watch. I hope it's a lot of these other great fighters come out of here and start doing this. Like, that's the way you're gonna make this organization work is by bringing in old greats that still want to fight. Will take a cycle of steroids before the fight 'cause they're not getting tested. Do a beat or a coat and just go out there and throw hands bare knuckle. Like, let's go.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah, man. So it's good watching him fight again. Seeing that was just fucking awesome, dude. Yeah, and then in other fucking UFC news, dude. I'm ready for this. The main cards coming up here in the future. We're gonna be live on video, and then there's gonna people are saying it's gonna get a big break in the UFC pay per views. You're gonna have like not the best ones coming up. I think the Amanda Nunes one's coming up here soon, right?
Yep. You Amanda Nunes coming up soon. The co-main is going to be Charles Oliveira and Darush. And then you have 290 is going to be that should be International Fight Week, I believe. Brandon Moreno and Pantoja. So not the greatest, but we do get to see Whitaker Duplessis in that card. Jalen Turner, the Tarantula. He might actually be one of my top 5 favorites currently in the roster right now. So shout out to Jalen Turner. And then Robbie Lawler making his probably last and final fight. So there's a couple fights coming up. I do want to give a quick shout out before we go. Shout out to the GOAT, if not the second GOAT, Mighty Mouse, on his win, keeping that belt in the ONE FC. I think he's pretty much solidified greatness at this point, and it's hard to not make the argument that he may potentially be the greatest of all time outside of John Jones.
And if you don't agree with that, you're a fucking casual. That's all it is. I mean, I don't know where you've been. You've been under a rock. This dude is.
You can almost make the argument that he is the GOAT because he stayed active. He hasn't stopped. He's still winning. He's still young. And he's won so many accolades, it's not even funny. The only thing you could say that would make the argument is the fact that John Jones has beaten bigger people, like, bigger, higher weight classes, things like that,
Definitely, man. But, I mean, Mighty Mouse has lost a few times like that. And it's just, it doesn't matter, dude. He's been all over every organization dominating. And I know he's just not a super popular fighter. I don't know why he never has been, but he just has.
That's wild.
It just doesn't make sense to me. But give that man his flowers. He's a beast.
Absolutely, brother. Let's see. I don't think I got anything else as far as MMA news. I know there's a couple fight announced, but we can go over that next week after this fight night. Because nothing crazy that we haven't covered is happening this week, in my opinion. I know March 30th, we got a couple more weeks left, or May 30th, a couple more weeks left till the Ultimate Fighter starts, and a couple fight nights in a row coming up until we get to UFC 290 or 289.
Yep, and we also have the Conor McGregor little TV show coming out on Netflix, dude.
Oh, yeah, man. You know what date that comes out on?
I believe the 17th.
17th. Okay, so we got next week. That's going to be great. That's show. I already watched the preview for it. It looks awesome.
It looks great, dude. I think I need to come to your house. We'll make some like proper 12 old fashions and just fucking sip it.
Say less, brother. We'll throw in some bison burgers and we'll rock out and watch some Conor McGregor like some MMA junkies.
Time out, dude. I think I'm gonna call this that way. It has to happen unless it can on your hands. We're
first over the Octagon live stream.
We're live streaming it, right? And we're gonna do videos, but I think I need to be with you, man.
I'm down. I can set it up. Bring your mic over. I'll set everything up.
Yeah, I think I'll bring the proper 12, bro. I got the Iron Man this weekend, so after that, I have not dabbled into anything. I want a bison burger.
I'd like to try the proper 12 apple too. I want to try both. I mean, I've had the original proper 12, but I know they have the apple one too. That might be a crisp drink to make as well.
Oh, dude. Yeah, we got this.
All right, brother. Well, I ain't got nothing else, man. I know we'll have a longer episode next week. We'll probably do another hour-long episode. Potential special guest maybe next week. But probably not we won't have our special guest on until probably UFC 289. So more to come for that. Like I said, more video to come. We had some technical difficulties, so we had to do audio again this time. But no worries, we got this. We got a long run to go, and that's really it, man. That's all I got.
This is the beginning, man. Next week is going to be the start of something insane. And like we said, with the lack of excitement for these upcoming fight cards, we're going to bring the excitement on our end. So we got some really cool surprises. And thank you guys for listening again. This is your boy Nick Nasty, Dirty Bird.
And you know what it is, brother. This is Over the Octagon, sponsored by and powered by the Overs Club Discord, the greatest place you can go for the free bets. We have experts in there who spend hours researching bets. So if you love sports and you're a degenerate gambler, that's the best place to go to get your bets. It's free. We don't charge a dime. Outside of the betting, we offer so much more, like all of the UFC fights we show in there, even fight nights, pay-per-views, all of it. And then NBA, NFL, we have the NFL pass. We have the NBA pass. We show all the fights, all the basketball games, football games. If you want to watch them at your request, just let us know. We'll turn them on. But yeah, if you're a degenerate, that's the place to be. Nasty, I'll see you next week, baby boy.
See you next week. We got some good for y'all.
Peace.
Peace.
I think I'm cute. I know I'm sexy. I've got the look that drives a girl wild. I've got the move that really moves 'em. I said chill.